Yo, what's up? This is the original OG Kefla. I'm here on the NICHOLS podcast, and let's talk about it, okay? I got some good stuff to talk to you about, and maybe some not good stuff to talk to you about. We'll see what happens.
Welcome back to the Zach Nichols podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Zach Nichols, in the building.
You should introduce our guests first.
We always should, but you know how it goes. We got the OG of the OGs, Mr. Kefla, Hare, in the building.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
The first challenge champion of all time, ever, right?
Yeah.
Groundbreaking stuff
Yeah,
here.
the very first.
The very first.
Yeah.
Anytime we got a champion, we need one more round of applause for the challenge champion in the building. Thanks for coming through, man. Atlanta to Detroit.
Yeah, no, I thank y'all for having me, man, because, you know, I'm not going to say a year ago, we was just waiting on the show to come out. But prior to that, you know, I wouldn't be expecting to do all this, you know.
It's a blessing to have you here. And you know what? You're not only the first champion, but you're the first person to do something else on this podcast. Nobody's brought a +1. We got Miss Cree here in the building.
Yeah. Oh,
Shout out to Cree.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So you know, listen, the first thing I gotta ask is Kefla, such a unique name. We
Right.
talked about it yesterday. Your son's names. Remind the world, what are their names?
Kimani and Kahari, twins.
Beautiful names. What is the origin of your name? And then I'm assuming that there's some type of passing it down. So I would love to know that.
Well, my name is Swahili, and it means worth dying for.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimani and Kahari also Swahili, and Kimani is strong and beautiful, and Kahari is strong and courageous.
I love that. I love that. So you're gonna have to. I'm a little ignorant. You have to give me the backstory on Swahili. What exactly is it?
Well, it's African descent, West African descent, and you know, just growing up, you know, you always, and all cultures believe that, just like Indians, you know, believe when they would. Native Americans, when they would name their child something, it would basically be off of an incident.
Mm-hmm.
But in African descent, it's like we name and then we expect you to live through the name.
Mm-hmm.
And once you find out what your name means, a lot of times it carries so much strength and you try to do that. So, you know, me worth dying for, you know, when I found that, I was like, okay, man, that's good for the ladies. Let them know, baby, I'm worth dying for, you know.
Yeah,
So-
no, I wish my name had some special. My parents were like, we just liked it.
Right.
You know, it sounded nice with your middle name and your last name.
Yeah.
I wish,
There is some biblical elements, but
but my
Yeah.
parents didn't name me Zachary based off of that.
okay.
They just liked it, I think.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for the insight in
No
that. And
problem.
like, let's just get right
Can I
into it.
ask the question that I've been dying?
Go
What's
ahead.
up?
We are not allowed to. Well, we're not allowed. We can't see your season of the challenge.
Right.
We can't see anything 1 through 10. We can't watch that.
Yeah.
What was the very first? I gotta know. Challenge final like.
Well, the actual final for the challenge, it's kind of crazy because we had 6 missions, what we would call
Okay,
it back
so
then.
yeah.
Yeah, it was missions. But you know, they say challenge, mission, same thing. It's
Mhm.
just a name change. And so the last one, it was how it went down was you had 6, and then whoever won the most for each one determined how much time you had in the money chamber.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. So this All Stars final was very much so more similar to the very first challenge final we've ever seen.
Yeah.
More of a mission based
Mhm.
with advantages and disadvantages. And
Yeah.
so-
Very cool.
Yeah,
some
like
of our
that.
fans
And
can
we-
take that and shove it up their ass.
Yeah.
And this is so crazy because they're talking about, oh, this final was horrible. It didn't have any of the, you know, the theatrics and all
But a
that
true
stuff.
historian would know.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it ain't about just beating people up all the time. You know,
Right.
it's just like if you ever go to a boxing match and the people that always say that fight was lame as hell are the ones that can't fight.
Yeah.
They can never fight. Yeah.
I've never heard it like
Right.
explained
And then,
like
so
that.
that fight was horrible. And
Like the
then-
people would talk shit on Floyd because he's defensive, right?
Exactly.
But if you actually try to do what he does for what? A minute and a half?
a minute and a half.
You're gassed.
Yeah.
Totally. But
But they'll go to, I would have threw this plane and you got your ass knocked out. Because you ain't counting, you know, his counter.
100%.
yeah.
Right. And so that's what, so when people are saying that it you know, it upsets me, of course, as a challenge person. Then you got to also understand All Stars is not for the young at heart.
Mhm.
It's not for you to keep running through walls and all this. It's for the old heads to get that glory back again. So they're not going to do
Well,
nothing
and
that's going to beat you
So
down.
we can see what you guys have been doing, what you're up to. I think
Exactly.
that's more important than anything.
Yeah.
Is these people that haven't been on TV for 15, 20 years get to come back.
25 in my
20,
case.
but yeah, and we get to see I mean, we didn't get to see the whole story, but we
Right.
get to see what you're up to, rather than it's like, because I always wonder, like, think back, like, what is this person doing? What is that person doing? We just had someone from Real World Miami. I think it was Sarah. She just passed away.
Yeah.
So you look at that, it's like, these are people that I'm sure have at least some fan base. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love All Stars. The whole idea of it's been great, and I'm upset that you weren't on 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, I am too.
Did they ask you?
Well,
You had to have gotten the call. I mean,
I got a call to be an alternate on 2, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a call to be an alternate on 2.
Yeah.
And I was going to accept. I was disappointed because when Mark came up with the idea, he was on Twitter, or at the time it was Twitter, and he was like, "Yo, I'm thinking about doing this OG thing." I said, "All right, I'm down. Let me know."
Right away, you were with it.
Right there,
So-
because Mark was with me on the first one.
Yep.
Yeah, the first challenge, and that wasn't. You guys were on Road Rules together.
No,
were you?
no, Mark
different
was
season.
before me on Road Rules.
Yeah.
yeah. And so I was on 6. Mark was on 1. Right.
Mark
Yeah.
is
is
the guy.
Yeah, Mark is the sperm donor to all of us. You know.
Yeah, he started it all. He's like literally the Adam.
Yeah,
like if there was an Adam and Eve, like he's Adam.
Yeah. So he's there. Mark should have a fig leaf right here.
Yeah, he
on the
should.
challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
Yeah.
that'd make a great calendar. It would sell. Copyright
Right.
that. We need that, Mark.
Are you gonna be in the calendar?
Hey, I'll do it. I'll do it, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be the little branch over there with the apple like this.
Yeah, yeah, that's hysterical. So,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I we talked about it a little bit. I had this question a little bit further down, but I think it is appropriate to ask it now. You weren't invited, or you weren't called for a while, it seems. So you did 2 seasons, and then you didn't.
I did
is there
the very first season,
Yeah.
right? And then
of the challenge?
of
Yeah.
the challenge, and then I got a call, like an interest call.
Mhm.
You know, hey, we're thinking about bringing you on. Yeah, so I think it was like the battle of the sexes. Then Cree and I had just got engaged, and I think I was like, nah, they trying to make me hook up with somebody. You know, and I
Right,
said, I ain't
right.
you trying to mess me up. You know, I said, nah, I'm good right now.
I ain't about it.
Nah, nada. And so then the next one was the Inferno. And so, but she was pregnant with the twins, and she had to be on bed rest.
Oh yeah, you can't.
And so, right. And so I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and plus, it's like,
Life is more important. You know, and back then too, it's like a lot easier to say no to like zero money and a possibility
there you
of
go,
winning.
right.
Like, hey, my pregnant wife, I'm just gonna go maybe win some money, but maybe not. Mostly
Right.
just spend a lot.
Right.
You know?
Hey, love of my life, I'll see you for no money.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm
'Cause
saying?
it was, I think then we was getting like maybe 1,000 to appear. I think to do the challenge, it was like 3,200. That was our appearance fee.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No matter how long you're there, that's
No matter
just
how
what
long
it
you're
is.
there,
Yeah.
it's 3,200.
Dude, CT could walk on screen and fart
Yeah.
and walk
Yeah,
off and make more than that.
than that.
Bro,
Right.
10
Yeah.
times, right.
And there was no social media, none of that stuff back then. So you weren't gonna get paid off of that. The only way you was gonna get paid is doing speaking engagements at colleges and stuff.
Yeah.
Back then.
Bar
So-
appearances too.
Right. Yeah. Planet Hollywood. I worked for Planet Hollywood a little bit. Hard Rock. I was up there. Hey, come on in, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Free food and stuff like that. But now, and so then. And then I think after that they was like, yo, this dude is not feeling us. But I did speak to like one of the producers back in the days, and they was like, you're high on the competitiveness, you're high on the likability, but you're low on the drama.
Right.
And it was right when they was really starting to pop off drama. Drama was selling,
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'm not, and plus the career I was in, education.
Yeah, no, you
I can't go right. I can't go in there screwing everybody.
Yeah.
I can't go on there, fighting everybody. I never get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
For
I'm
sure.
saying?
Right.
I never get a job.
Real life takes a precedence
It
over that type of
does.
thing.
It
for
does.
sure.
sure.
And so I was always looking ahead. And so, it just went. The phone went dead. But I kept my number. I kept the same number all these years, just in case somebody
That's awesome.
hollered at me. And then when they finally called me for this one, and like I said, I was pissed that I wasn't being called to be the cast. But alternate, I was like, damn, yeah, I'll take it. But then I had ankle injury, and the doctor told me I needed surgery on it. And so I had to call them and say, I can't be the alternate.
Gotcha.
And so I knew right now, I said, man, I done shut the door for good now. That's it. They ain't gonna call me back. And then when they finally called me for this one, my wife was like, do it. No matter what it takes, let's do it. We'll make it. We'll make it work. And, you know, I said, yeah, let's go.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. I mean, for me, it's like, and I got some family, some marriage questions down the road because I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
But just to have a goal as a family, which is we're gonna raise this family. I'm gonna be the best husband. You prioritize those goals first.
Yeah.
Now you're at a position where let's prioritize the entertainment goals.
Right.
And you showed out this season. So big round of applause, man, for that performance on All Stars 4. All right, let's get to these questions. I want to know about your childhood, your upbringing, all the way. Basically, you're born up to being on reality TV. Tell me about your upbringing.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm just saying, getting on reality TV when you did was like, probably people were like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh.
That concludes the free preview of the Zach Nichols podcast.
So go to Patreon and subscribe to see the rest of the shit that we talk.
Go do it now.